Hi guys, I'm Melissa Elise and you're watching Melissa Elise TV. In this video, I'm going to tell you about all my favorite TV shows for this summer, so let's get to it. So I want to start with the shows that I have to catch up on this summer because there are just so many great shows and it gets hard to keep up with each one every week and I get a little behind. So I have talked about some of these before, so if you're not familiar with them, you can check out my last top favorite videos and check out the show. Surprisingly, I'm actually only behind on 3 shows. And the first one is Gotham, which I still love but always get behind on. And I think I have more than half of the season to go. And I don't think all the episodes are on Hulu anymore, so I might have to wait until the whole season goes up on Netflix to finish. The second show is This Is Us, but I think I'm only a few episodes behind on that. And finally, Grey's Anatomy, which I'm only 1 episode behind in, but I already watched the season finale. I'm just weird about watching every episode in a series, so I have to go back and watch the one that I missed. Okay, now for the shows that just started for the summer. And I'm only going to mention 2, even though there are a bunch more that you could try out, but there's really only 2 on my radar that I would highly recommend. First, Younger, which I have to admit was a show I didn't start watching until my mom did, and I thought I wasn't going to like it. It kind of seemed like it would be lame and something I wouldn't be into, but I was so wrong. Younger is funny, it's stylish, it's sexy, it's relevant, and it has a unique but not obnoxious take on millennials. So the show is about this 40-year-old woman who gets divorced and then decides to go back into the workforce but can't get a job because of her age. So she changes it and tells everyone that she's 26 and then lands a job as an assistant at a prominent publishing house. And it has Hilary Duff. And to top it off, if you're a fan of the originals, they just brought on Charles Michael Davis as a series regular. He did guest star in a few episodes last season, but they brought him back to stay for season 5. The other show that I'll be watching this summer is Animal Kingdom, which I've been about since it started back in summer 2016, mainly because of Sean Hoddesy, who is from so many great shows like Southland and movies, and then Finn Cole, who's from Peaky Blinders, and then Ben Robson, who was on Vikings. So many of my favorite shows coming together to make this awesome crime family drama. And at the head of the family is badass Queen Smurf, played by Ellen Barkin, and she is amazing. This show takes some twists and turns too that you wouldn't necessarily expect. Like this season, it's looking like one of the main characters is dead and his girlfriend is responsible, but she's pretending she's not, and the family has to retaliate, but Smurf's in jail, and that leaves Jay in charge, played by Finn Cole, but no one's gonna listen to him. His uncles are not gonna do what he says, least of all Pope, played by Sean, and I don't know what's gonna happen, and I'm kind of still in denial, but I'm here for all of it. I do have to mention one other show that's airing this summer, but I can't watch it yet because it only airs in the UK, and that's Poldark. I love this show so much and I can't wait till it airs here, but until then, I'm rewatching the series from the beginning. Now on to some other summer shows that aren't on just yet but should air before the end of the summer. First, Ray Donovan on Showtime starring Leif Schreiber, which is such a great show and I've been loving it every season since it started. It is in its 6th season now and hopefully we see it air in August. That's when it aired last season, but they haven't actually released a date yet, so we're hoping for August. A little side note here, if you're not familiar with a lot of these shows or you want to know where you can watch them, I'm going to link them all up in the description below, so you can check them out later. Another show I cannot wait for to come back this summer is Insecure on HBO, and I really only just discovered this show, but I really like it, and it's starting its 3rd season on August 6th, so if you're down for a funny and sexy comedy, you should definitely check this out. A little change of pace for this next show, Man in the High Castle on Amazon Prime. And this one is about a world where the Nazis won World War II, but there's this alternate universe that's somehow accessible and it shows the Americans winning. And I believe it's based on a book. The show itself is so good, and the premise is so interesting, and the execution is pretty flawless. It's starting its 3rd season, which is expected before the end of the summer, so if that sounds interesting, you should be on the lookout for that one. And finally, I've talked about this show before because it is truly such a great show, and that's Shameless. It starts its 9th season on August 9th, and I'm not sure about rewatching this one, but maybe I'll watch my favorite episodes from each season. That seems more doable. Okay, before I wrap it up, I have to do an honorary mention of 2 shows. First, Barry on HBO, starring Bill Hader, who I believe also directs and writes the show. And if you love Bill Hader, you will love this show. It's so funny. And then Altered Carbon on Netflix, which I binged a couple months ago, but I'm still reeling from it. It is so good, and I started watching it for Joel Kinnaman, and I just love him. And then James Purfoe is in it as well, but it's about this like not alternate universe, but what's the word I'm looking for? Post-apocalyptic universe where people can upload their consciousness onto something called stacks, and then you can implant your stack into other bodies or sleeves. And there was this war that took place like 250 years ago or more than that to stop that from happening, but the rebels lost, and now in the future this rich guy gets murdered, and he implants himself into another sleeve and then hires Joel's character or sleeve to come back and solve his murder. And I believe the whole series is based on a book series, and it's not perfect, but it is totally addictive. And there's a lot of speculation on whether or not Netflix is going to renew for season 2 because of the whole re-sleeving process. It would be the same characters, but different people playing those characters. But it is totally worth watching this show and waiting for a possible season 2. So those are my top favorite shows for the summer. Let me know if you're watching any of those, or if there's another show you highly recommend. And if you think there's a show I should review, let me know in the comment section. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here, consider subscribing for more awesome videos.